I want to give a special shout out to my patrons, to my Bibliosprend, Bibliosworn, and Bibliomancers. Thank you so much for supporting my hobby and passion even more. It means a lot to me. Hi everyone, Petrik here. Today's video will be my April book haul, and well, you might notice a change in my background here because I finally got myself a new bookshelf. Ta-da! So let me know what you think about my new setup. And even though there's still a week before the end of the month, I think I might as well do a book haul video now because this month, so far, I already got myself 15 books. The first one that I want to show you is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is the broken binding edition. I never thought that I would ever get myself a hardcover of The Blade Itself, but thanks to the broken binding, well, that finally happened. And plus, this edition is absolutely beautiful. Take a look at this. See, this is the spray edges, and this is the front cover, this is the spine, this is the back cover, and there's also the end paper. Ta-da! I always have a soft spot for the First Law trilogy, whether it's regarding the content or the cover art, and yeah, now there's still a bonus inside this, and that is inside the naked hardcover. See, this is so pretty, and at the spine it's written, "Say one thing for Logan 9 Fingers." So yeah, this is so beautiful. I think the broken binding and Golangs has done a terrific job on this edition. And once I have, before they are hanged, and also Last Argument of Kings, I think this broken binding edition will match their Dandelion Dynasty edition. If you still haven't checked out the broken binding, I highly recommend you to check out their website and take a look at their selection of books and subscriptions. They are an amazing bookstore. And speaking of special edition, the next things that I want to show you is Illumicrate's box of the month for the month of March, which is titled as A Life of Its Own. The first thing inside this is We Do Bones mug, which is this one. This featured an artwork by Rosie Thorne. I'm going to open this now. I have actually seen this one, and this one is so beautiful, especially for those of you who love Gideon the Ninth. Hold on. Ta-da! See, this is a stunning papercraft by Rosie Thorns. Yeah, this is so pretty. I love Gideon the Ninth. Even though Herod the Ninth didn't really click with me, I really enjoyed reading Gideon the Ninth, and I think this is I don't know whether I will use it or not, but well, I love getting this one. And after that, the next thing that I got is a Like a Winter Night cushion cover. And this one is actually so beautiful. This features an artwork by Kelly Chong. Ta-da! Can you take a look at this? You know, the first time I saw this, I thought this is from the Winter Night trilogy by Catherine Arden, but apparently it's not. This is apparently from Deathless. Yeah, from the book Deathless, which I haven't read. But I think this cushion cover is so beautiful. This is designed by Chetty Nora, and again, the artwork for this one is done by Kelly Chong. And the next item inside this box is a Murderbot headphone case. Yeah, Murderbot is a book by Martha Wells, and in here it's written, "I like the imaginary people on the entertainment feed way more than I like real ones." Yeah. And this is how it looks inside. Ta-da. And two more items before I show you what's the book inside this box. And the next item is All in the World Notepad by Defna Sebane. See, this is the notepad. And finally, the last item on this box is an Owl Moving Castle keyring. Ta-da! This one featured an artwork by Blissfully Bookish. I love the anime movie by Studio Ghibli for Owl Moving Castle, but I actually haven't read the books. I really should get to it someday. And finally, for the book inside this box, this is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I think this is a beautiful edition. I actually haven't read this one. I think a lot of you actually know already that I'm not a fan of the Shade of Magic series by V.E. Schwab, but I am a fan of her work on Vicious. And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually a standalone novel, so maybe just like Vicious back when it was still a standalone, maybe I will love this one more than the Shade of Magic series. As for this edition, not only this has a beautiful cover art, this also has a beautiful end paper. See? And I think inside it also featured some interior artworks. Yeah, like this one. I haven't checked the other interior artworks yet because I want to find out about them as I read through them. And yeah, and then this is also the spray edges. So this is a pretty edition. So yeah, thank you so much Illumicrate for once again sending me their box of the month. And if you're interested in Illumicrate 3-month or 6-month subscription, make sure to visit their website and use Petrik5 as the discount code. And now onward to the books that I bought before I show you all the books that I received from my co-blogger and also from publishers. And this month I bought 2 manga volumes and 1 novel. So yeah, I'm trying to limit myself on book buying here because I have spent so much money on books. So much. And the first manga that I want to show you here, this is a Blue Lock. This is the 2nd volume with a story by Muneyuki Kaneshiro, and the artwork is done by Yusuke Nomura. Whether you are a sport fan or not, I highly recommend this manga series. This is an incredible manga series. It is incredibly intense, and the artwork in this one is so good. It is so good. And there is an anime adaptation coming out within this year. And you know, I have actually read the digital edition in English for this manga series, but because I love this manga so much, I want to own a physical edition as well. I thought I might as well buy the Indonesian edition because it is so much cheaper. It is so much cheaper than the English edition. And this is actually one of my favorite ongoing manga series right now. And speaking of my favorite ongoing manga series, this is another manga volumes that I bought, and this is the 6th volume in Spy Cross Family by Tatsuya Endo. For Spy Cross Family, the anime adaptation has been released and it is really fun to watch. If you haven't watched it or if you haven't read this manga, again, I highly recommend this. This is one of my favorite ongoing manga series too, and it is wholesome, it is hilarious, and the artwork is really good. As for novel, there's only 1 novel that I bought within this month. Then it is Elric of Melibone by Michael Moorcock. This is the first omnibus with a foreword by Neil Gaiman. So even though I know about Elric and Michael Moorcock for years now, I think this has been hailed as the grandfather of grimdark fantasy, but I still haven't read the novels. I have actually read the graphic novel adaptation and they're really good. I think the artist is named Julie L. Blundell. Yeah. Maybe I mispronounced that. I apologize for it. And that graphic novel adaptation was already really good. But you know, now that Saga Press is releasing the omnibus for all the books in the Elric saga by Michael Moorcock in chronological order, I think it's time for me to pick up the books and finally read why Michael Moorcock is so often hailed as the grandfather of grimdark fantasy. And this edition with the cover art by, I think, Brom, and it also has a beautiful end paper of the map of the book. See? And inside this, there is also some interior artworks, like I'm going to show you one of them now. See, like this one. Yeah, this is so pretty. I can't believe that it is fully colored. There isn't a lot of interior artworks. I think there are about 4 or 5. But I still think that this is a worthy edition to get if you're interested in finding out about Elric of Melibone. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I don't know when, probably not within this year, but someday. So that's all the books that I bought in the month of April, and now I'm going to show you all the books that I received. And the first one is The Kingdoms of Death by Christopher Rocchio. And this is the 4th book in the Sun Eater series. This was gifted to me by my co-blogger Celeste, and I haven't read any books in the Sun Eater series, even though this has been recommended to me so many times, and I have a good feeling that I will love the Sun Eater series. And I have actually talked about this before. I will get to the Sun Eater series whether within this year or at the latest within next year. With the addition of the Kingdoms of Death, that means that I already own the 4 books in the series so far, and this cover art, this is so gorgeous. I have a hard time deciding which one I love more between Howling Dark and this one. But for now, I think I have to choose, for the cover art, I have to choose the Howling Dark as my favorite cover art in the series so far. And even though I'm still not sure when I will actually read this series, believe me that this series is one of my most anticipated reads. And the next book that I got is The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. This is the 2nd book in the Bloodsworn saga, and I think by now you all know how much I love John Gwynne's books. I have actually done a full spoiler-free review for The Hunger of the Gods on this channel. If you're interested in this book, in this series, I highly recommend you to check it out. I actually have posted a review for The Shadow of the Gods as well. And yeah, this cover art by Marcus Winnie is so stunning. Yeah, this is a wraparound cover art, and I am so looking forward to reading the 3rd book in the series. I think the 3rd book has the potential to be one of the best books by John Gwynne. This was sent to me by Orbit UK, and I have actually pre-ordered myself. the Goldsboro edition, so I will have 2 copies of The Hunger of the Gods. And after that, I got Rise of the Mages by Scott Drakeford. I haven't read this one. This is a debut novel by the author, and this is the first book in an Age of Ire series. This was sent to me by the author himself, and I'm really thankful for it. So yeah, this one is signed. Yeah, see, this is signed. And also, this edition somehow has some weird printing issues like this. I don't know, I don't think I've ever encountered something like this in a book that I got, but I don't think this is too much of an issue. But yeah, this is weird. As for the story, Rise of the Mages is about Emrail Ire wants nothing more than to test to be a weapon master. His final exam will be a bloody insurrection staged by the corrupt nobles and priests that enslaved his brothers. With the aid of his master Overtutor, tutor, herself an undercover mage, Emrail discovers his own latent and powerful talents. To rescue his brother, Emrail must embrace not only his abilities as a warrior, but also his place as last of the ancient mage kings, for the fallen god has returned, and he is hungry. And I think this debut novel has received praises from Brian Lee Durfee, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is a blurb from Brian Lee Durfee. This is old school and new school epic fantasy rolled into one. Drakeford has built a superbly crafted world infused with a myriad of well-rounded characters and plenty of action, magic, and mystery. Rise of the Mages is a fast-paced adventure that will satisfy any fantasy fan, young or old. I haven't heard too much about this book yet, so whenever I get to it, I hope that I will enjoy this epic fantasy debut. And the next book that I got is Skyward Flight by Brandon Sanderson. This is a collection of novellas in the Skyward series. The collection consists of Sunridge, Redawn, and Evershore. I have actually talked about this, but I am a huge fan of the UK edition, the cover art and design for this series. I think they are far superior compared to the US edition. Sam Green, the cover artist, has done such a terrific job on the cover art for the entire series so far, and I cannot wait for Defiant, even though I haven't actually started reading this series yet. So Skyward will be one of my top priority series for next year. So we still have 6 books left in this book haul, and 5 of the next 6 books are actually a huge surprise for me because I actually didn't expect to receive any of them. So I'm reading this book right now. This is the first binding by R.R. Virdi. This is the first book in the Tales of Tremaine series. So this was sent to me not by Tor Books, even though this is published by Tor Books, but this is sent to me by the author's agent. And I am truly thankful for it because this is so far proving to be such a great read, but I'm still super early into this book. I'm trying not to jinx it, and I'm hoping that the rest of this book will be amazing. But I really thought that the agent was only going to send me this book. Yeah, the first binding only. Apparently, they decided to send me 5 more books. And the next one is The Misfit Soldier by Michael Maymay. This is a sci-fi standalone novel, if I'm not mistaken. I've read only A Planet Side and its sequel by Michael Maymay. Both of them are actually very entertaining and compelling sci-fi novels. And The Misfit Soldier has been pitched as Ocean's 11 meet Old Man's War in this funny, action-filled standalone sci-fi adventure from the author of Planet Side, in which a small team of misfit soldiers takes on a behind enemy lines missions that could change the entire war. Considering how much I enjoyed reading the previous books by Michael Maymay, I think I have a good feeling that I will enjoy this one as well. And then I also got Winders by Ryan Onan. I don't think I've heard of this author before, so I don't have a lot of things to say about this one. But one of the blurb by Gretchen McNeil said this: Winders is a tenet meets the Matrix thrill ride that I could not put down. Onan is a rare talent, transitioning seamlessly from script to prose with vibrant characters, addictive world building, and a story that leaps off the page and onto the screen. So hopefully whenever I get to this one, I still have so many books in my TBR pile. Whenever I get to this one, I hope that this will be one of the biggest surprises that I've read. And the next book that I got is The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I think Silvina Garcia is very well known for her work on Mexican Gothic, which I haven't read, but that one has received such high praises, and I'm hoping that, even though I haven't read any of her work yet, I'm hoping that whenever I read The Doctor of Dr. Moreau, I will enjoy this one, and then I will read Mexican Gothic if I do. And there's only 2 books left on this book haul, and the next one is The Voyage of the Forgotten by Nick Martel. This is the 3rd book in the Legacy of the Mercenary Kings. I have actually read the previous 2 books in the series, and this one will be released in November. Yeah, that's still quite a while, and the cover art, look at this one. This cover art is insane. And the cover art of the UK edition by Richard Anderson, one of my favorite artists, is also so beautiful. And I really enjoyed the first book, The Kingdom of Liars. And even though the second book, The Two-Faced Queen, didn't impress me as much as the first book, I'm hoping that The Voyage of the Forgotten will be the best of the trilogy. I mean, with a cover art like this, it will be such a shame if the third book is actually the worst of the series. But yeah, I am hopeful about it. And finally, the last book that I got, this is again another book that I didn't expect to receive, and this is Flames of Mira by Clay Harmon. This is so stunning. Look at this, this is so beautiful. And this is actually one of my most anticipated read of the year. One of my most anticipated release, even though this is a debut novel, but this sounds so interesting. Set in a world of fire and ice, this stunning debut is a tale of magic and redemption from a fresh new voice in fantasy fiction. Born through life-threatening trials that bind chemical elements to the human body, Ik was forged in the boiling volcanoes under Mira's frozen lands. One of the most powerful known elementals, he serves as an enforcer for Magnate Sorello Adrian, cursed with a flesh-binding magic that will kill him at the first sign of disobedience. When Sorello is overthrown, Ik quickly learns he can do far worse than what has been asked of him so far. If he cannot escape the flesh binding in time, Ik will have to kill friend and foe alike to stop his master reclaiming the throne or sacrifice himself trying. I think from what I've heard, this one will have a magic system similar to Mistborn. And yeah, I'm hoping that I will get to this one before the release date of this book in the month of July. So once again, thank you so much to Joshua Blinds for sending me the first binding and 5 extra books. So yeah, that's it for my April's book haul video. Do let me know whether you've read any of the books I just mentioned, and if not, which books here you think sounds the most interesting to you. Oh, and one more thing before I close this video, I'm still working on it right now, but my overrated fantasy series video will have to be postponed into next week. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye.